There were a number of clarifications and errata added to the rules index this week, and that's going to be very important to know for the water tower. Kicking us off this week, there were updates to the Discord to create a content creator forum instead of a channel. And what this forum does is allows for a much easier way to sort through and find the type of content that you want to watch or know about for MetaZoo. And there's filters for news, openings, music, NFTs, gameplay, grading, collecting, shorts, lore, which they should just call the Tormentic filter, and live streams. If you're adding content to this forum, you can select multiple tags if your content fits more than one. So for me, for instance, most of the shorts that I upload are marked both as news and shorts. And this is a really interesting replacement for the content creation channel. I'm curious to see how this evolves in the future because people are figuring out that if you do go in there and comment on the thread, it brings it right back up to the top for the people that have the sorting by most recently active, which could be by design. Either way, it's a very interesting concept. I like it a lot better than what they were doing with the content creation channel, since you can find the type of content that you're interested in finding. MetaZoo announced this week that they will not be raising MSRP in 2023. This is on the heels of other TCGs doing just that this year. And an example of that is Pokemon. Last year, the MSRP of Pokemon was a little over $140 for a booster box or $50 for an ETB. And starting with Sword and Shield, they're upping their prices to $60 for an ETB and about $160 for a booster box. So that's a sizable jump in the price of the Pokemon ETB and booster boxes, but MetaZoo is committing that they will not raise their prices this year. We've also got a few hints this week of a new toy line coming from MetaZoo. It's unclear if this is going to be part of the partnership with Invasion Toys at this time or who they're going to be working with, but we do know that the toys will come with an eBay native booster pack as well as a promo, and we got to look at what these blister packs are going to look like. If we look at the packaging, we can see beasties on there for Van Meter Visitor, Alignac, Cumberland Dragon, Grim Reaper, and I'm not quite sure who these fingers belong to, but if you know, leave a comment below and let me know. With the eBay Seance partnership, we did see that there was only one pack included in the tarot boxes. I imagine that this is going to be very similar, so if you want multiple, definitely plan on getting multiple blister packs, and that's easy to do when there's so many different toys that will be coming out with native. Another interesting update in the gaming space with MetaZoo is that they're looking at doing VR. MetaZoo announced that they're going to have a VR experience across the country at different collectible shows this year. And I'm not sure what this means. Is it going to be a game? Is it going to be an interactive experience where you're just kind of in the land of Cryptid Nation? If I was betting eating a sample on this, I would say it's probably going to be an interactive experience of some sort. Imagine being able to stand next to a Piasa bird or Quetzalcoatlus, or ride on the back of Chessie in the Chesapeake Bay. Imagine coming up on a squonk in a virtual forest, and as you make eye contact, it just explodes into a puddle of tears. So this could provide a really fun way to understand the size of different beasties, as well as some of the interactive capabilities of some of the beasties as well, based on their lore. We finally got a first look at a water tower plushie this week as well, this one for Agua at the water tower. I did theorize in a live stream with Tormentic recently that since those cards for the water tower have the Chibi Agua growing up into adult Agua, maybe they're going to be doing something similar at the water towers with the plushies that they did with Collecticon last year and the Cumberland Dragon eggs. It's still unclear how many plushies are going to be available at the water tower, but I am hoping it's more than one and that we do get that growth of the beastie. And since we've seen the art for the playmat for the Earth Tower, we know that Chibi Pink Mess is part of the Earth Tower design, so it's likely that we're going to be getting Pink Mess plushies at the Water Tower. And it's already been confirmed that Snipe is going to be a featured plushie at the Lightning Tower. I'll be at the Water Tower in just a few weeks, and I can't wait to get my hands on these. And while we're on the subject of plushies, we kind of got our first look at the Mothman plushie for the Valentine's set. We have a left side view of the plushie holding a red heart. And this here is a good indication of the size of the plushie. It looks like it's going to be very similarly sized to the Cumberland Dragon eggs. Now at this rate, without any of the shipping notifications going out, it is very, very unlikely that anybody's going to have these in hands for Valentine's Day, but I imagine they're going to go up very soon. It was announced this week that partners are going to have their shot to have their logo on exclusive MetaZoo cards. The exact details on when we can expect our favorite partners to have cards in the wild are unknown, whether that's going to be with native like this tease is showing, or if it's going to be for a later set. Me personally, I think this is great. You're celebrating your partners as well as adding another level of collectability to these cards. And I know for me, I'm going to be looking to collect every single Immortal Workshop card that I can. Now, with this tease of the partner logos, we're getting our first full look at Ababanili. This beastie costs 3 flame and has 35 LP. You're gonna have 3 per spellbook, and it has Fleet, Flying, and Spirit. And it has bonuses for Daytime and Desert, 2 terras that I expect to be featured at the Flame Tower. The arena effect here is very interesting, and it really makes you design your spellbooks to be dual aura. If an opposing caster is damaged by a non-flame beastie with an aura cost of 1, they take an additional 25 damage. So in that example, if you have a Dark Flame spellbook with Ababanili in the arena and you have Nappa Rebobs and a banana, you're hitting for 100. But that's not all. With this arena effect, all flame beasties you contract gain and immediately activate flash. So while this card does encourage you to do dual aura, there's also benefits to a straight flame spellbook. Its attack, Dangerous Flames, does 3 burn and hits for 40, and has a 4th wall effect of if you're in direct sunlight, it deals an additional 10 damage. So if Daytime and Desert are both active at the Flame Tower, this is going to be a beastie to watch out for. It's going to be hitting for 160, and it has added effects for other beasties in the spellbook. We got to look at the Earth Tower jersey this week as well, and it's a brown jersey with very similar art to the playmat that we've seen. It has Sinkhole Sam, Pink Mess, and Giraffe Possum. And now thinking about that more plain design in the background there, I'm thinking that actually might be a general caster's jersey that's going to be available for purchase to anybody. And before we get to the top story, I'd like to mention that the memberships for this channel are now live. So if you'd like to support this channel and get some additional perks, definitely check out the memberships. There's a join button below. And one of those tiers will get you exclusive discounts to Immortal Workshop. And if you don't want to support by joining as a member, the next best thing you can do is hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and drop a like so YouTube understands that this might be useful to other people. Now for the trivia this week, we're actually not going to do it as part of this video. Going forward, I'm going to move trivia to its own video on Wednesdays, and that's going to make it a lot easier for people that want to participate to watch the video and participate, and for those that don't want to participate can skip over the video. For our top story, there were a number of updates to the rules index this week, and some of these are very important if you're going to the Water Tower and competing there. There are new clarifications for Loveland Frogman, Flying Manta Ray, Grim Reaper actually had a lot of clarifications, Fur-Bearing Trout, Drowned Pianist, Fetish Artifact, Sam's Backpack, Hero, and Ziri. The updates to Loveland Frogman, Flying Manta Ray, and Drowned Pianist are very important for the Water Tower. All 3 of those are water pages and may show up in the event. We also had some more rule clarifications for general gameplay, and this included clarifications for artifact essence contraction, combat damage versus within combat damage, effects that cause a beastie to attack, losing versus removing traits, and placing versus sending pages to a zone. Most of those are honestly self-explanatory. The most important one is the clarification between combat damage and within combat damage. And we also have a number of new cards with Errata in the newest round of updates, Dampen, Intergalactic Space Council, Colorado Springs Elf, Sarah Good, the Hermit, and the MetaZoo Hanukkah ornament have all been errated. Dampen and the MetaZoo Hanukkah ornament had some very interesting errata, adding text in that clarifies that they affect something in the resolution chain. And the clarification of those 2 cards really make me question the fundamentals of how those cards have been played and how they're meant to be played with the current wording. We did have a recent episode of Cryptid Conversations where we talked about every single one of these clarifications and errata and gave our thoughts on them. You can catch that right over there.